We're at the Old Town Recovery Center at the corner of Burnside and Broadway, owned by Central City Concern. They serve 13,000 people a year in this LEED Gold certified building with offices, exam rooms, counseling rooms, and such. So glad you're with us on Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Ken Ackerman. You know, every 5 years, Multnomah County libraries rely on you to decide its fate. This is one of those years. Please welcome County Commissioner Deborah Kafoury to tell us about the Multnomah County libraries. And Deborah, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you. You
know, I've heard that Portland has the second largest library system in the country.
Multnomah County has the second largest circulation of any library in the country. The first is in New York.
So what does that mean, circulation?
Circulation means the number of books that circulate throughout the system. So for example, I'll break it down. For every man, woman, and child, that's 33 books a year, either checked out or read online.
And how many libraries are we talking about in the system?
There are 19 libraries. There's 18 in the surrounding neighborhoods and then the central library downtown.
So 5 years ago, levy comes up. How much were you asking taxpayers to pay?
5 years ago, we were asking taxpayers to pay 89 cents for every $1,000 of assessed value of their home.
And this time around?
And this time around, actually, after much discussion and deliberation, we're going to ask voters to approve the same level of funding as they did 5 years ago.
Now, things have gone up in 5 years. Are you going to have to make cuts to the system?
Yes, it's true. It doesn't buy a dollar doesn't buy what it bought 5 years ago, and in the past 5 years we've opened 2 new libraries, one in North Portland and one out in Troutdale. So we do have a different base, a different set of needs. So yes, it's true that it doesn't buy the same amount, and if the measure passes in May, which we sure hope it does, it will mean some cuts to our library system.
Where would those cuts be?
Well, we've looked at how we can make cuts and still have the same great level of service that we do, and so we were talking about potentially a day a week for each library to be closed.
The library funding relies so heavily on taxpayers. Give me an idea of how much of the annual budget taxpayers have to come up with.
Well, here in Multnomah County, we rely really heavily on the voters to support our libraries. In fact, as you've mentioned, every 5 years we have to go out for a levy, and that levy is 2/3 of our library's funding. The other third comes from Multnomah County General Fund, fees, fines, and grants.
So, has there been any discussion or any other models that maybe you can look toward in the future to try to help fund and ease the taxpayers' burden?
There are 25 library districts around the state of Oregon. So a library district is not a new theory, and in fact, many people in Multnomah County have been pushing for years, and almost since the library started, to have its own unique library district. That means that you would set one rate, one permanent rate, and it would not increase. You can't increase or decrease it. It's set at that permanent rate as long as that district is in existence.
And will you be asking for that in any time soon?
Well, it's really been an interesting situation that we were in as the commissioners, because library funding comes to an end June 30th. And if the measure that was on the ballot in June does not pass, as we talked about, we would have to cut 2/3 of our library system. So what we decided to do was a two-step approach. In May, we've referred to the ballot an increase, or not an increase, just a continuation of the current level of funding. And then we'll ask in November if the voters would like to approve a district.
Okay. Yeah, I see you have a book that you brought with you. You just doing some light reading, or why the book?
Well, you know, when I'm on the bus, I like to have something to read.
Sure.
Actually, one of the great programs that our library offers is called Everybody Reads. And the idea was really simple. What if everybody in the community read the same book and then had discussions on it? And this year's book is The Girl Who Fell from the Sky.
Local author.
Heidi Durow, yes, she's from Portland originally, and the book is about a young girl who's from a mixed racial background, and her experiences moving, after a family tragedy, moving back to Portland. So there's a lot of references to our fair city.
All right, real good. Thank you so much, Deborah Kafoury, for joining us and enlightening us as to, well, the financial crisis that the libraries are in. We appreciate you joining us on Comcast Newsmakers, and thank you for being here as well. For the crew here, I'm Ken Ackerman. Make it a great day.